Hey, welcome back to Ready or Not. This is episode 3, which means this is 3 weeks into quarantine, which means you might be going stir crazy. You might be just reaching your creative inspiration. You might be frustrated. The whole point of Feel Good Friday, though, is to forget all that for 10 minutes, maybe 15, and talk about the positive things and put out some positive pieces either that I found this week or that my team created, which in this case is my team created this week. But before we roll any of that video, I took some notes so I could have a little more to talk about today. I want to talk about how everyone's coming together. I've seen it all over Facebook. I've seen it all over Instagram, and I've seen it across all kinds of social media networks, even seen local news outlets focusing on the good. People coming together, people supporting small businesses, people reaching out, finding ways to help each other. And generally speaking, in my neighborhood, I'm sure you say this in yours as well, everybody is so friendly. I've seen more of my neighbors walking the neighborhood than I've ever seen. And everyone's trying to keep their head up in this difficult and sometimes frustrating time where things change within the hour, if not the day, if not the week, and if not the month. So we're certainly taking time to recognize the things we're fortunate to have. And one of those things is technology. Today I got the opportunity, I was supposed to be in Dubuque, Iowa last week to talk with some Loras College students and do some internship interviews. And of course, their classes were moved to online, so they were canceled for a couple of days while they got used to and onboarded all the professors. So today I got to speak to a Loras College comm management class, and boy did we have a lot to talk about. We talked about business, we talked about stories, and we talked about our personal why and how we can use this time to really discover and acknowledge that, which we'll hear more about at the end of this episode. But first, I want to talk to you about Charlie and Allison, who are currently working from their studio apartment. God bless them. And they have a cat. And their cat, if you have a cat, your cat's probably been like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you at home? This is my time alone. Most cats are that way. So they have been having a little bit of fun, and they put together this really cute video. So here's a cat video for you. I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like the cat in that video sometimes, being cooped up inside. It's been really nice out, so we've been able to go outside, but their cat is our toddler. So that's been really interesting. I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was a really cute cat video, and that laser seems like a really fun way to pass some time. Speaking of passing some time, Jack Sarcone, who is our video and graphics producer, has been spending a lot of time doing edits and working on projects that we've sort of tabled and hadn't had time to put into until now. And this week he decided to take his drone out because, you know, all of us, most of the team are certified drone pilots. We studied and passed our Part 107. What was it, 2 months ago now? I'm looking at Scott because he was the first one to do it. So anyway, Jack went out and he decided to take his drone out and show some abandoned parts of Memphis that are usually packed with people. And he put together this piece called Quiet in Memphis. My dad says, nice choice of music. He likes your choice of music, Jack. That was certainly very Memphis-y. So my challenge to Jack after I saw that beautiful piece was to go back when we get to the other side of this and get drone shots of all those places with people in them, because it's the people that make Memphis so special. And what's really been cool to see is how many people in Memphis are staying home for the sake of helping flatten that curve. Jack, thank you for putting that together. I always love your artistic touch to everything that you do. So that was really fun to see. Another thing that I've been challenging myself, because I myself am a creator who's also now managing a team remotely and trying to keep a business running. And one of the ways that I thrive is to go out and shoot video as well. So this week I'm a big fan of Instagram. I was on Instagram, and one of the people that I follow on Instagram started this challenge called Make Things April. Every single day of the month, prompting you with something to either take a photo, shoot a video, write a song, not going to do, write a poem, or do something to express whatever that prompt is. So Monday, it was the room you're in. So you can bet that this spare bedroom termed home office was my photo for that day. Yesterday's theme was something yellow, and today's theme is a year from now. So I'm going to have to think about that creatively. But I want to share with you what I put together yesterday on a little walk that we've been doing in our neighborhood, just a block or two radius. And I challenged my family and my toddler son to look for things that were yellow. And this is what we put together. So not a whole lot special there, except when you focus on something like a prompt like that, I've never seen so much yellow outside of our house. And yellow is a happy color, which is really nice to see in a time like this. And it forced me to sort of see the beauty right in front of me that I pass by every single day. In fact, I didn't realize how many houses we have in our neighborhood that have yellow or are painted yellow on the outside. You also saw a yellow car, which I see often on our street, and the flowers, and just watching Max really enjoy the day. Because, you know, a lot of our kids, especially those that are young, have no idea what's going on in the world right now, except that they get to be with mom and dad more often, which is such a blessing. And that transitions into this next point that I really want to talk about. Scott and I relaunched our podcast this week. Check it out on the Ready or Not podcast Facebook page, which is also live streaming Feel Good Friday. We decided to relaunch it because we're home. For one, we're home. But two, we realize a lot of people are home as well. And we're all facing the same kind of uncertainty. We're all facing our own version of how we handle this and our own version of how we process the emotions as they come in. And so the first episode is about working from home with your spouse and a toddler. We give 10 tips about how to survive that and how to make that work so that you still like each other coming out on the other side of this. But there was something we talked about in the podcast that I clipped and will end the show with today. And it was surrounded by a question that was brought up to me by a fellow business owner this week. We were checking in with each other and saying, how are things going? And she said, you know, I'm home with my family and my kid is here and it's just absolutely chaos. But I keep asking myself, when again in my life am I going to have the opportunity to do this? And the this that she's talking about is different for everybody. It might be being with your family all the time. It might be eating dinner every night with your family. It might be working on that thing you've always wanted to work on but never taken the time to do. It might be creating something with your spouse like a podcast. Whatever it is, I think if we take the time to think about what this is and realize that we will not have the opportunity to do this again, though right now feels like will last forever. We know there's an end to this. And I urge you to take some time to reflect on how you might be spending your time in this quarantine to the best of your ability or to the most fulfilling way, which might simply be just hanging out with your family. But I'm going to roll as I end this episode 3 of Feel Good Friday, a small piece of our podcast, and you can check out the whole podcast on your favorite streaming platforms. That's it for this week's Feel Good Friday. Take it away.
Here is a time when this all unlocks, and it will. And that's something I keep reminding myself. It will unlock, and we will build all this back. But there will be a re-entry period. And during that period is when we all get to redefine what we want our lives to look like.
You can think about your work differently.
Yes.
You can offer things differently. You can solve problems more creatively than you did before.
Yes.
You can spend more time with your family. You say no more often.
Yes. You can reinvent something about the way you approach your life.
What an opportunity.
Or your work, or the way you do your work, or the way you serve your clients. That's something we've been thinking about with our business of like, what is this going to permanently change?
How do you take it day by day, but still see that?
And how can you leverage this opportunity to modify it to what you want it to be? What one of my sort of mantras is, how can you turn into living the life you want to live?